Charles Munyui is the Executive Director of the Boda Riders Awards. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning to you. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
It's a pleasure being here. Eric, Ngoga, Do.
Thank you.
I appreciate, and allow me not to comment on the wind.
You're not a sailor.
You're not a sailor, sir.
It is definitely not my wind, so. And I know the direction I'm headed to. So
Okay.
Yes.
You know the direction you're headed.
I know the direction we're headed to.
Karibu sana, Charles.
Asante sana.
This is
Appreciate.
Kenya's biggest conversation. That's a hot seat.
Yes.
So start by telling us, what do you do, Charles?
Well, I am a governance consultant. I have a degree in law. I have a degree in economics from the University of Nairobi. I do a bit of politics. I vied in Kiambaa, performed dismally.
Vied in Kemba for what?
Member of Parliament, National Assembly.
In 2022.
New, earlier.
In 2017.
Yes, and performed very badly. So
When you say performed badly, what do you mean?
I didn't get it. I lost in a bad way. I mean, I got very few votes, and
But you got-
it was not stolen.
Charles, you got some votes.
Yeah, I did.
Then
That's it's like getting a very bad grade and then you're going like I did.
But
You
at
didn't
least-
do well.
that's evidence you sat for the exam.
You know, someone told me if you laugh at yourself, nobody else is going to laugh at you.
Indeed.
I agree completely, but the reason I'm belaboring this point, the courage it takes to actually even present yourself, that's the monumental thing.
Yes.
Now, when people determine that they don't share your view, that again is information. Now, once you have that information, you are actually you're in a very good position to determine, as you say correctly, you know the direction you want to go to.
Precisely.
You see-
In fact, I am not saying I'm not going to get it.
Yes.
In fact, I could go for a bigger seat.
Yes.
This has nothing completely to do with the future in terms of my politics. I will definitely get a good seat, a big seat, but I'm admitting at that particular time, that's a fact.
You
I
did
did not
dismally.
perform well.
Performed this.
And I think that's a problem with our politicians.
many
They don't
candidates?
they don't admit that they didn't do well. You'll find you flopped, it didn't work, and then
Some-
you're busy here telling
Kimeibiwa.
us, blaming everyone. And the one person that you want to blame is yourself, but you run away from doing so.
So why do you think you lost?
Because people are not ready for me at that time. Because I know I'm a good leader. I can do these things. I can communicate. But our politics is such that, number one, especially around that time, Jubilee was very popular. So if you don't get that ticket, if you don't find a way of getting that ticket in the first instance, then it becomes very tricky for you. So it was a question of the primaries. If you're not in good books with the people who can be able to literally give you the ticket, then running beyond that becomes tricky. So, but that's a story for another day. Again, politics is not just about being good. It's about ensuring you do the right things. Yes. Good.
Hiya. You're here because you're the Executive Director of Boda Riders Awards.
Yes.
What are those?
Well, this is an award for Boda riders in this country. I think all of us have interacted with Bodas. And let me start by saying they are good people. In fact, all of us here, I am sure you have that rider that you rely on for gas, for this, the other one that you send even for medicine, that you'll allow into your home in one time because they are good to you. But when they become collective, there is a way their behavior is not that well good. But if you look at it critically, this is an industry that's really huge. You're talking about 400 billion worth and employs directly, indirectly around 10% of Kenyans. So that is it in perspective. But in terms of now out there, a lot is happening, and especially in the area of road accidents. It's disastrous. Of course, I don't even want to go into the area of crime related to border riders and all that. But road accidents, can you imagine losing 1,000 people in less than a year that are riders? That basically these are young people, energetic and all. Many of them in hospitals as well. Losing others who are passenger pillions and road, or, other road users simply because of small things that can be resolved. So we looked at it and we said, government enforces things. You literally bash people to behave in a certain way. But if we motivate them to self-regulate, drive them towards self-regulation, it is likely when they are self-regulating, the results will be better. The number of accidents will reduce, and basically help them change their attitude and belong to an association, say a Sacco, that will help them now self-regulate. We thought it looked better that way. So we said, why don't we award them something? Give them, if you're the best, safest rider in Nairobi, for example, we'll give you 1 million shillings. And you're voted for by the pillions, the passengers that you're ferrying from point A to point B. And no conditions whatsoever. Don't send us a coin, don't register, just ferry this person from point A to point B, request them to dial star 519 star 72 hash, and you get a vote. That vote, as long as now when the evaluation period is over and we confirm that you had a valid license within that evaluation period, you had the ride or the motorbike was properly insured, and you belong to a Sacco, then you get 1 million shillings if you have the top number of votes. It's that simple. So zero conditions almost, other than the basic things that you're supposed to have as tools of work when you wake up in the morning and go to work. And of course, when you're talking to the passengers, or rather the consumers of the service, we are requesting them, confirm you're voting for this guy because you feel safe from point A to point B. You are handed the requisite helmet and right wear, including the high visibility jacket, and he respected other road users and obeyed the law. So if he's done that and requested you to vote for them, vote for them. So we are looking at it from both sides, from your perspective as a passenger who will interact with this person on a minute-to-minute basis, and then, of course, the other aspects of the law and regulations, and you're good. You get 1 million out of nothing. So the biggest thing here is that you'll belong to a Sacco at the end of it all.
Charles, what if you're number 2?
If you are number 2, this is a pilot. Let me put it this way. This is a pilot. So at the end of this, when now we award the 1 million shillings, we launch in February the national program. So we are looking at this as a pilot and a launch for the national program. Pilot basically so that we pick up things that we had not picked along the way, so that we can have them in terms of the terms and conditions for the national. But if you are number 2, not this time. Yes.
So which means number 3 also not this time.
Not this time.
Okay.
But the bigger good is you'll have been a safe rider. Yeah. And
you'll have been recognized by your customers.
Precisely.
Okay. Is there an acknowledgement of what the problem is? Because by the time we're saying award, so that this probably will, we talk about a deterrent to stop people from behaving a certain way. Yeah. So here's an award to encourage you to behave in a certain way. Yeah. Is there an acknowledgement of the problem, that this being seen as one of the ways to solve it?
Yeah.
And then is there permanency in this solution? That will I behave in a certain, because the word is going to spread in a minute.
Yeah.
That they're given 1 million shillings if you behave in a certain way.
Precisely.
How do we secure that kind of behavior amongst? Because we cannot run away from the fact that this sector has been getting the hit in terms of how they've been behaving on the roads, and then the attitude. I mean, there's the whole thing. You hit a Boda, or somebody hits you, for example, you better run away.
Yeah.
Because the mob justice that will ensue thereafter is something to be told. So is there security of permanency in this solution? After the 1 million shillings, what's to guarantee
sustenance?
Exactly.
Yes. The reason as to why this industry is that it is the way it is because it's very porous. If you look at it critically, you wake up in the morning, there's a joke about how these guys train to ride. That 1 minute you're standing somewhere and someone is being trained, they are sitting on the pillion seat, the passenger seat, and they are holding and the rider is helping them appreciate from the back that this is how you ride. If you hang around there for 5 minutes, the guy who was the trainee, will be coming this way now, with the passenger as the person who was training them. They have learned the art of doing this, and the next minute they'll be ferrying pillions from point A to point B. So in terms of sustenance, we are saying the reason as to why this situation is this way is because these guys have no way of being regulated. If you cannot belong to a Sacco if you don't have a rider's license, you cannot belong to a Sacco if the ride that you are operating or the motorbike that you're operating is not properly insured. There are basic rules and of engagement when you belong to an association, so you must comply by the same. If you belong to a Sacco, then the discussions around the Sacco, and then subsequently we up it in terms of the regulator, the NTSA and the police and the county governments, they'll find it much easier to deal with the Sacco as opposed to dealing with individual riders. But now, having said that, the aspect of what we are doing, the biggest thing about what we are doing is ensuring that people join Saccos. It is that simple. Because and we don't have a Sacco, so it's not like we have a personal interest in this. We don't want you to join our Sacco. We are just saying join that Sacco that is properly registered out there by government. And then the rules, the terms of engagement in terms of NTSA as a regulator will guide you on how you operate from within there. It becomes much easier and sustainably so moving forward. You find quite a number of them, a big percentage don't even have rider's license. And that is the biggest problem. In fact, most of them are even underage, as it were, and completely inexperienced. So most of these accidents can be avoided, by the way, by having the right people doing the riding, as opposed to just anyone waking up in the morning and they're all over the place, fearing people. Nobody wakes up in the morning to go to work and die or kill someone. And I think it's not right that should be happening. So we are saying in terms of sustenance, it's going to happen. The moment you are in a Sacco, it becomes easier even for the people who have that mandate of regulating through as government, NTSA, to now be dealing with the respective Saccos and say, we have established there is this rider from this is the motorbike, and ABCD happened. Of course, the government has a responsibility as well, because it is ridiculous that incidentally in law, a motorcycle is a vehicle, is a motor vehicle. Yeah, there is this assumption that motor vehicles don't subscribe to the Traffic Act, which is ridiculous. You know, a motor vehicle is just a motorbike is a motor vehicle, a two-wheeler, a certain weight. So basically, they should be subscribing to everything that is provided for in law. But look at the intersections and the roundabouts and the lights. These guys don't stop, and the police are there, almost waving them on. Like, we are not supposed to be dealing with you. We are supposed, but they have the audacity to stop a small car, which is almost, could be even the CCs are less than that of a motorbike. But they allow these guys to do all manner of things. They'll even be there, and this guy has no insurance whatsoever, but they allow them. So the police will also naturally be required along the way as we do activations and all that. The police, doing your work is not wrong. You cannot, and this is not politics. You must do your work. If a motorbike is there at an intersection, they must wait until the lights change, or you wave them on to move. So these are the basic things. It's not one-off. It can't be done by just this thing that we are doing, but we want this consciousness to arise in us as Kenyans across board, so that we start now dealing with this thing. Can you imagine COVID? Since COVID came, and I'm sure you have the statistics, 5,600 people or thereabout have passed on, which is sad.
Yep.
COVID. This year only, road accidents have cost us more than 4,000 people.
Yep.
This year, in road accidents. Out of that, 1,000 plus road riders, 400 billion passengers, and over 2,000 pedestrians. So we are saying the efforts that were put in to ensure that COVID did not kill all of us. Look around you. The same policemen we say are corrupt were there closing even restaurants where you take tea. Nothing harder than tea, but they were there and doing a good job closing down restaurants and ensuring you can't even take mandazi from. You either pack it and go home, or is literally shut down. You make your own mandazi at home. The same fellows we are talking about. So if we put our heads together and say this industry is a good industry, we need it, is employing our people, it is big in terms of the revenue it generates. Can we sit down and look at it in perspective and ask ourselves, why don't we work around this and ensure it works? Yes.
Charles, do you ride?
No, I don't. Scares me.
Do you own a motorbike?
No.
Like, are you in the business of Boda?
No, I'm not.
So what motivated you to do this?
Just look, I run an organization called One Love Kenya. One Love Kenya is about coming together and resolving. It's registered way back in 2014. Non-profit, and it's about looking at things that affect us and working together to resolve them amicably, without necessarily waiting for government, as it were, because I think we also we need to appreciate that we are part of government. That's why it's a government of the people, by the people, for the people, on paper, most of the times. But you resolve things. So you look at things that are troubling you and come up boldly and at minimum talk about it. But if possible, do something that will change the dynamics of
initiate a solution.
So I am not in the boda industry. I don't have bodas. I don't even have a matatu. But I have lost friends. Lost quite a number of friends. In fact, one of them is a gentleman I was with 3 days before he passed away, called Steve, and I think was trending all over. He died in an accident a few weeks ago. He used to vie in Laikipia as a senator. So, and he used to be a student leader for Mount Kenya University Student Association, MKUSA. So along the way, we've lost people, and you wonder, really, should it happen? This is a young person whose kid is hardly 6 months, the firstborn. And obviously the wife is equally that young, just a graduated the other day. And those are the people that have died courtesy of accidents. So is it possible to do something about these things without necessarily it being for personal aggrandizement? It's not about gaining, or it's not about I am in this industry, so I need to do something to either benefit or help myself, so that I benefit as an industry player. So this is about creativity. Of course, I'm not alone. I have a few colleagues that we work with and a few partners. Even the 1 million shillings is not been given by anybody, just contributed. Like 5 of us decided, let's do this. And we are not asking you to register. We're not asking you to send us anything. So it's not about, this is not lottery or anything. It's not about, this is money we've given.
So the initial seed is actually basically
ours.
The 5 of you who've decided
Yes.
you want to
Yes.
reward
Yes.
the best voted Boda rider.
Precise, the safest.
The safest Boda rider.
Yes.
So this is like a user review, sort of.
Yes.
It's like you use a Boda for whatever. If you're a pillion passenger
Yes.
or you're using a Boda as courier,
Yeah.
then you vote for your favorite Boda.
That is correct. Yes.
And is there any criterion? Like, are you voting for safety, for cleanliness, for politeness, for customer service, or is it just send a vote to this number?
The bottom line is safety. And safety is your safety and that of the rider. But did you feel safe from point A to point B? Did he endanger himself and yourself or other road users? And did he obey the law, or did she obey the law, for that matter? And safety is about a helmet. Is about a helmet. It's about a high visibility jacket for yourself and for the rider. Did you have those? Did he offer you those things, or did she offer you those things? Along the way, did he go the wrong way? Have you noticed Boda riders have a habit of, this is the right way, but the wrong way is here. The right way is here, but they go the wrong way. It is even easier to go the right way. It is way easier to go the right way, but they'll go the wrong way. It's ridiculous. So we are saying, did he go the wrong way? Did he do all those things? Did you feel like he respected other road users? Because that's also something that needs to happen. So it's very simple things. And basically we are saying, did this guy wake up in the morning and do his work as he should be doing his work? Yeah, so that he goes back to his family in the evening, or her family in the evening, healthy, safe, alive, having not killed anyone, having not maimed anyone or himself. Yes.
It's something that is noteworthy. That when the Boda industry took off and began to change our lives, it also changed the institutions of health in this country.
Yes.
Because in many hospitals, there was a ward dedicated
to Boda riders, to
Yes.
Boda people, accidents
Yes.
related to Bodas. Yes, it's true.
Now, that alone tells you just the numbers who passed through there.
Yeah.
Right. Are we going on to a break?
Let's take a break.
Okay.
As we take a break, Charles,
Yes.
I'd like you to grab your mobile phone just now.
Okay.
Now that you want us to send this vote You haven't launched. Can we start voting today or
Yeah,
not
yeah,
yet?
yeah. It's already on. It's already on.
So I'll do the thing and then you'll do the thing. You tell me
Okay.
what's the number that I need to dial to vote.
Star 519
Star
519
519
star
star
hash.
hash. 519 star hash.
Star 519 star 72 hash.
Star 519 star 72 hash.
Yes.
And this is if you use a Boda service
Yes.
and you like the service from the Boda
Yes,
rider. I
yes.
mean the Boda rider.
Precisely.
Vote for them by dialing star 519 star 72 hash.
That is correct, yes.
Minutes to 8. This is Kenya's biggest conversation. Charles Munyui is the executive director of Boda Rider Awards. He is not in the Boda business, but he's a concerned citizen who came together with his friends and they decided, you know what, we'd like to start something, a conversation that brings meaningful change and behavior change in our Boda sector. So they have started these awards. If you are riding, if you use the services of a Boda rider and you like them, you can vote for them. And Charles and his friends are saying in this initial phase, we are awarding the best voted Boda rider with 1 million shillings. 1 million bob if we vote for them. This is about safety mostly. Did they do the right thing in the right way? Are they wearing a helmet? Are they wearing a reflective jacket? Did they give you a helmet? Did they give you a reflective jacket? Did they obey traffic rules? Were they polite and all? Vote for them. 28 to 8. We'll be back shortly.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
This is the Situation Room on SpiceFM, online, SpiceFM KE, YouTube and Facebook, and on KTN News. Charles Munyui is an active citizen. He is the executive director of Boda Riders Awards. And they've launched these awards and they're saying if you use the Boda rider and you like their services, you can vote for them and they'll be recognized and rewarded nationally. Have you broken it down into counties, into regions, or is it wherever you are, if you use a Boda and you like, you can vote?
At the moment, the USSD code is only open for Nairobi riders and users, as it were. Reason being, we wanted to run a pilot. So what is going to happen is that the pilot we will award in February, and the same awarding will act as the launch for the national program. So that will be February. So this one is open to the 17 sub-counties of Nairobi. And so if you are in one of those 17 sub-counties, you are eligible to participate. The Saccos, the way Boda Saccos are, is that they are domiciled within counties. So it becomes much easier. When you are dealing with Nairobi, it is not possible for someone in Kiambu to benefit from this. So you cannot vote for someone who is registered in a Sacco in Kiambu, because at the end of the day, we look at where you registered in a Sacco. Is that Sacco in Nairobi? For Boda riders in Nairobi. So it is open to the 17 sub-counties in Nairobi. And we're also looking at the possibility of the best runners-up, 16 of them, because it's only one out of the 17 that will get the 1 million shillings, getting 100,000 shillings in appreciation of what they have done. Now, what we shall do to ensure fairness is that we appreciate the fact that it's possible that much as the number of riders could be the same in each of the respective sub-counties, 17 of them, but it's possible some counties are disadvantaged in terms of the number of people that are likely to use Bodas. For example, Westlands. You'll find the guy in Westlands might have less individuals willing to or keen on using Bodas as compared to someone in Kawangware or Roysambu or any other place. So what we'll do, ultimately, the 17 of them will do name picking, so that we don't disadvantage someone who is a good and safe rider, and purely because they were best in their respective sub-county, but they did not get the votes as compared to others. Yes.
How do you guarantee the authenticity of this entire exercise? So what I'm asking, let me ask it in a different way.
Yeah.
Have you partnered with, let's say, NTSA or the county government or the National Police Service or maybe a national or regional Boda Saccos association to get that third-party endorsement as well?
What we've done, of course, NTSA is a regulator. We have talked to them, the county government as well. And but remember, we are here because of things that have been done or not been done by some of these brothers and sisters in terms of trying to resolve this. In terms of the we even start with the voting aspect. We have a partner in an audit firm that will be able to weed out any possibility of you walking into a shopping center and telling people vote for me, unless you're a very patient person, because we look at how the votes are coming in. You cannot have a ride that lasts 3 minutes or 4 minutes. It is most likely that a ride will last way longer than that, and you cannot have a ride from the same guy. You cannot have the same passenger voting for you 10 times in a span of so many minutes of so many hours or so many days. So we will weed out some of those votes through the system. But in terms of informing the partners in regard to this, we've done that because we are basically helping them. In fact, we are doing what they are saying riders should do. Riders should wear a helmet. We are giving out money so that riders can wear a helmet. Riders should obey the law. That the police would be very interested in, including the DCI and the other places, because of crime, issues of crime. Even the DCI would want riders in a Sacco, so that in the event there is a rogue one, they are the ones who will even be telling the DCI, this is ours, but he's not ours in terms of behavior. This is actually not ours. This is whatever it is that the papers that they are using are not ours. So all this, we are together, working together to deliver this. They are aware. Of course, when money comes into play, many of them will shy away because of this or the other reason. But we are saying we are helping them do what they should be doing. We are helping make their work easier, and we are helping the country realize a good industry, make it better and more reasonable. We can imagine if we reduce even the number of, we are even working with NHIF because again, health insurance is really key. I don't want to give companies here credit on national TV, but they'll come and advertise when we get there, and then we can mention them. But basically, we are saying there are a lot of health issues. Forget about even accidents. These guys don't do the right way. They don't do the right way. So they get all manner of illnesses, chest issues, breathing issues, So this is a big conversation that we need to have as a country, even partnership with media, because you guys know how to get to our people. You know how to communicate with them consistently up to the time they will understand, and then you even keep telling them, even after they have understood. Because this, if you don't have this conversation, does it make sense that air travel internationally is the safest? And and a simple question should help us put this in perspective. Supposing we had five planes coming down in this country, even if they are light ones, in 1 year, 5 of them just coming down. What do you think will happen in the aviation industry? It will be closed down permanently until this is resolved. It doesn't matter whether people have died in the accident, but as long as 5 planes have come down in the country in 1 year, there will be a problem. We will not even count the number of people that have perished in those accidents. We had an accident yesterday, I think, a matatu, or the day before, where I think close to 10 people died.
10.
But if a plane crashes and kills 2 people, is a big story. And the whole aviation industry is looking critically at what exactly happened. We'll get explanations as whether it's human error or it's weather, it is this, the other one. We need to get there with the issues of accidents. It's not just about Bodas. It's about generally now looking at, do you know the biggest reason as to why we cause accidents is distraction, even as a very good driver. And you don't have to be taking alcohol. Just having some chips and your wife, your husband, and chicken, and then you slow down a little bit, and then the whole plate scatters. That instant, when you turn to confirm what happened to your fries,
That's it.
you crash. So that distraction is not about alcohol. Alcohol is big on matters of accident, but we're saying we need to have this conversation on matters of accidents. Let us put enough resources and energy as government, as private players, as media houses, as everyone, to this issue of and decide. We are not the most motorized country in the world. So why do we have these accidents?
So you do see a space then where government, private sector,
Precisely.
everybody else can then come together in the regulation of
Yes.
this. I mean, we keep using the example. I think it's one that you still can point to because it seems to be working. Just, moving to the center of Africa, Rwanda has
Yes.
been able to regulate
Yes.
this sector. There's
Yes.
no incentive. Incentive is to not go to jail.
Yeah.
All right. That's the incentive. That if you don't behave, you could have a state scholarship. All right.
Yeah.
The incentive is to be free and to do your business.
Yeah.
So there's no thing. Oh, please, can we come together and just behave? Probably no. It's the law. You do it or you don't.
That's the
It's
thing.
very simple.
Yeah.
But so what you're saying is that there is a space within which
Yeah.
private sector, government, in
Yeah.
terms of regulation of this sector, can actually get people to behave.
That is correct.
So the behavioral issue seems
Yes.
to supersede anything else.
Yeah.
Supersedes the law. Supersedes.
It does.
So then, how do we get people? People have waxed lyrical. You can't legislate on morality. You can't legislate on how to get people to behave the right way. So it looks like we're dealing with a deeper issue here of how to get people to just do the right thing.
In fact, if government comes in and talks about this, and you remember government told us to wear masks. All of us wore masks. And they were not following you to your house to confirm you're wearing a mask. They just told us this is the right way to do these things.
Yeah.
They sent all manner of communication to the media houses and looped you guys in. And you helped. If we have hunger in this country and government tells you, talk about people are hungry, we need to contribute, we need to do this, we need to help people. I think the government must initiate this conversation. Much as we are the guys talking about it now, the government must now start deciding that accidents can be avoided. And everyone must do whatever needs to be done so that we deal with this issue of accident. And now that Bodas are the biggest contributors to the statistics we are talking about here. Can you imagine? We are talking about deaths. Do you know the number of people that have been maimed permanently that are in hospital at the moment right now? You go to an average casualty department ward and you'll be wondering, is there a place they're dropping motorbike riders and their passengers from, up there? The manner of injuries you interact with on a minute-to-minute basis is scaring. So the question is, why can't we decide? It's just a decision. Is a decision, and the government is going to be the biggest beneficiary. It is the hospitals, it's the government hospitals that are packed to capacity, and it's almost like the border riders industry now is a sin industry. It's just like we allow some of these products out there in the market, yet we know we have to overtax them because the benefits, or rather the yields that are associated with them overweigh the benefits. So should we get there with the riders, the border industry? No, it is possible to regulate this thing. We can benchmark with our neighbor, a very young neighbor, if you ask me, because Rwanda is not anywhere near Kenya. How come they're doing it? What is it that they're doing? And it's a question of telling people you must follow the law. Yeah, I am told that you cannot carry two passengers at a time. So why can't we do that? That's actually what the law says also in this country. But you'll find a policeman allowing 3 guys riding on a bike, to pass. And there's a kid in the middle somewhere, squeezed in there somewhere.
And none of them is wearing a helmet.
And we appreciate that people are not doing very well. So it's possible you want to cut on costs and all that. But the law is the law. The law is simply the law. So basically we are saying, let us have let's start this conversation. This is the best way to start it because we don't start it by fighting people. We started by telling people this can be done. Wake up in the morning, go to work, do what needs to be done. Yeah. In fact, you're the first. You could be the first individuals in this country to be given money to do what is expected of you. Nothing extra. Don't register. Don't give us any money. Don't call this or the other number because again, people are out there who take advantage of people. No, we don't want anything from you. Yeah, all we want is for you to convince the person that you're ferrying from point A to point B that you are a good rider and you're a good human being that respects other road users and other Kenyans. It's that simple. So I think if this conversation is carried to the next level, you'll find there'll be change because human nature is such that people change. And if a majority of you are operating in a certain way, then you find everyone becomes ruly. Of course, there'll be 1 or 2, but those ones we can deal with. Like you said, we can get that accommodation in those manner of places. But the majority of those riders should behave better.
How exactly are you working with the Saccos?
Yeah. In fact, ours is to tell people to join the Saccos.
You tell them
so
to
they are
join
the
the Saccos.
beneficiaries of what we are doing.
I'll tell you why I asked the question.
Yes.
Because the leadership that you and your organization have shown in this matter
Yes.
is exemplary. I'm saying it's exemplary because every time you tell the story of Rwanda, it boils down to leadership.
Yes.
And even as we tell the story of Rwanda, I am forced to come back to Kenya
Yes.
during Michuki's time as Minister for Transport.
Yes.
Again, it was leadership.
Yes.
He led by example. And you know what happened? People followed.
Yes. People do.
People actually said, we will walk.
Yes.
Yep.
Meaning, people are ready to do the right thing,
Yes.
but leadership is necessary.
Yes.
Now, since all our transportation sector have Saccos,
Yeah.
do you think that these Saccos could help in what we're trying to promote to ensure that only law-abiding individuals or drivers or whoever their members are part and parcel of that Sacco?
Yes.
Because they already formed into those Saccos.
Yes.
You can't ply certain routes or work within that sector if you don't belong to a Sacco.
That is correct.
So already we have them
Yes.
somewhere. Now, leaving the enforcement to the police, a bit of a tall order. But the people to whom they owe their membership and the people who allow them to do the business can hold a bigger stick and a bigger sway on them. My thoughts. What do you think?
That is so true. Let me tell you what. Saccos can do it. In fact, they should do it. The only problem is, we as a country, we have this thing of knee-jerk reactions. Where when things are not working well, we come up with all these brilliant ideas. And then when I don't know, I don't understand whether it's because nobody's feels like they're charged with the responsibility of ensuring things work. As long as things now start moving in the right direction, everyone drops the ball. And then we are back to, factory settings. And I think that's where we go wrong. When we are doing this, incidentally, when you join a Sacco, that Sacco is not in an island. It is regulated, as it were. So there are terms. You are a Sacco, there are things that you're supposed to do as a Sacco. And government expects you to do those things. So government must rein in on Saccos. It's that simple. We cannot have Saccos having to behave well simply because on their own accord. They are beneficiaries of what is happening on the roads. For example, Matatu Saccos, the owners are there, they're interested parties. So as long as this vehicle is carrying as many passengers as possible, then they are beneficiaries because the Sacco grows that way. But if you allow them to do whatever it is that they want to do, they'll go back to where it all started and they'll be in trouble. As long as people have allowed themselves to join a Sacco, they become a legal entity. Then you can deal with that legal entity legally. Through the law in managing it. Now, what that does is that it removes from you dealing with the whole industry in generality, and you are picking on one and saying you are not behaving well, not directly but through your members. So if you don't rein in on your members and they behave in a certain, so the government cannot afford to fold its hands and just look at these things and say it is going to work. After all, they're in Saccos. Those Saccos are still run by human beings.
They are regulated.
And then you realize, even in the Matatus, all those Matatus behaving badly on the roads, they are in Saccos.
They belong to
And
Saccos.
by the way, they are branded very nicely. This is Sacco A, Sacco B, Sacco this, Sacco the other one. But you will tell, this guy does not care whether this information gets to my Sacco or not. So why can the government, before even an accident happens, tell the Saccos, your drivers who are doing this. Your drivers are notorious for overlapping. They are the ones who are going through gas stations because gas stations are open this side, the other side. Why don't we have that conversation? Do we have to only deal with these things when people
After
die?
accidents have happened,
You know, it
and then
doesn't
you
make
suspend
sense.
an entire Sacco.
You go to Europe, you go to London, central London, you'll be there for 10 days without anybody hooting. Why? Because people are behaving well. If you're supposed to turn right, you indicate right, you turn right. So we are saying all of us have a responsibility, and especially the heaviest responsibility falls on government. So I think this conversation is about telling government as well that you need to wake up. And because government has a habit of pretending that it does not hear, we keep the conversation until they hear and listen. And they do. By the way, they do. If this goes big, they will listen. And unfortunately, government again has a habit of using rungus. We are telling them, these guys are in Saccos. Don't wait until they start behaving badly as Saccos. Work with them. walk together, have a conversation, let them understand where you're going, and we walk together. It will work.
You know, NTSA will tell you that they hold regular meetings with Boda riders.
Yes.
Former PS Kibicho will tell you he held very many meetings with Boda riders alongside NTSA on just sensitization of safety, of the reason why you need to take insurance, or why you need to be registered and all, but they still behave this way. As somebody who is a lawyer, as somebody who is a politician and all, looking at our current state of affairs, do you see the political leadership of the country actually addressing this issue?
So former PS Kibicho will tell you that, but he'll forget to tell you that his policemen are on the road. And those Boda guys were passing through there. So it's not like those meetings you're having with the CEOs of the Boda organizations, how does it translate into a discussion? You should tell them, when your Boda guys find us as the government on intersections and they don't behave, we will arrest them. That is the conversation you're supposed to have. And then they'll go tell their respective members in the Saccos that now we have had a discussion, the government is not joking. Quote whoever PS you want to quote. The government has decided this is what is going to happen. But we are not waiting for the government to do that. As a Sacco, we are saying, if you are a member of this Sacco, can you stop at intersections when required to, until you are allowed to go? So that is what we are saying. It is not about even these meetings. You will hear government has a habit of coming up with big projects, trainings and budgets and billions of money that needs to be spent, looping this organization, the other one. And so it becomes just paperwork. It's not really real. And riders know that. So you can do your things, you can do those government things that you do, those meetings, you do those, and then bring the media with a lot of respect, then report this. But what about the real situation on the ground? Has it changed?
Are you touching the actual stuff? Now, I've done that. Star 519 star 72 hash.
Yes.
Star 519 star 72 hash. And I've gone through the prompts. It tells you, tell us the rider number, rider name, the motorbike's registration, and you search the constituency, and then you vote. And it's easy.
Very easy. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Charles, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Charles Munyui is the Executive Director of Boda Riders Awards. They're saying, let's vote for the best Boda riders as a way of encouraging better behavior on our roads. Keep it here for more.